No, they wouldn't be able to do that. It's already long gone.
Okay, go ahead.
So, so Scott Niner and Robin Niner from Santa Clarita, California, and they Scott Niner came to me one day and said that my best friend, somebody I'd known for 35 plus years, had cancer, and to not tell her I knew he had cancer because he was trying to get money from me to save their home from foreclosure. And so after other types of deals with patents he wanted me to give him money for and enter into contracts with him for other stuff, finally he played the strings of my heart against my best friend, and I ended up buying their home. And the deal was they were gonna live there for 2 years, pay me in advance for 2 years of rent, and then buy it back at the end of the 2 years. Well, that never happened. He never gave me one dime. I found out he was committing adultery with some alleged cocaine whore from Georgia, and
How do you know she was a cocaine whore or alleged
well,
to be?
because one time
I mean, that's an awful thing to say about a woman.
yeah, one time, well, that's what he had told me, and then
Scott told you that.
and his wife Robin Niner had told me.
Okay, go ahead. I shouldn't interrupt you. Go
So
ahead.
that's okay. I did go to Georgia. I saw glass pipes and things, so I kind of knew that that's what they were doing. So to fast forward from 2001 to about 2007, 6, when I got my settlement, I entered into the agreement April 25th, 2006, bought their home in Santa Clarita, and he never fulfilled any of his agreements, so I ended up trying other contracts with him and eventually had to file an unlawful detainer. Now, they left immediately without a problem. They wanted to move. They moved. Now, I had to file a lawsuit. I ended up winning an award from him, but not the full amount. He filed for bankruptcy, and I went through multiple.
Question: when and where did you win the award?
It was Chatsworth, California, with Judge Margaret L. Oldendorf.
And what year?
That was 2009.
Is that one of these documents we?
Actually, it's not these documents. These documents fast forward a little bit because
Well, go ahead.
that's where the incident, that's where it started over this piece of property. And so I ended up having to keep the home, do the things by renting rooms, try to save it from foreclosure myself. And so I began to study what I didn't know, which was the law, unscrupulous banks entering into contracts with people without giving the basic full disclosures and other things. And granted, I was disabled. I was severely disabled, a lot worse than I am today. And so I filed the lawsuit, and one thing led to another. Scott became very upset. And
Before or after you sued him and won a judgment?
after I sued him, during and after. And then he began to email me and text me with threats that he's going to, he set a certain amount of money aside, around $50,000, $60,000, that he's going to take my car, he's going to take my home, and he's going to use the IRS and the code enforcement of City of Santa Clarita and the government to come after me. And so pretty much that's what happened.
And you still have those emails?
I still have the text and the email saved, yes. And so everything that he had stated that he was going to do transpired.
Really?
And every single one of them. And so I ended up having to...
How did he have so much pull in Santa Clarita?
Well, his father's very well connected. His brother's very well connected.
Oh, that'll do
along
it.
with himself.
That'll do it.
And his father's had a hand in all of this, unlawful conveyances of property and things like that, and so forth.
Fraud on the court. Fraud in the documents the clerk should have never allowed to be recorded. Am I gone off the track here? Am I?
Oh, no, you're right on cue. You're right on track.
Why am I not surprised? Did I have Lopez on here? Valerie Lopez? You know who Valerie Lopez is?
I've seen your
You saw the show I did with her,
show with
clips
her,
of it?
yes. Yes.
She called me the other day and said, William, I found the secret. Here's the secret, people. If you're facing foreclosure, and that's why I said you'd find this an interesting story, a riveting story. But Val Lopez called me, she said, and I forget the section, she says, there's a section of the California statutes that says debt collectors cannot use non-judicial foreclosure. Did you ever hear of that?
I did, and I actually put that in some of my papers.
And what did the judge do when he saw that?
Well, first of all, I've been in 4 separate court cases over the unlawful foreclosure of my land, and I have never seen the courtroom. They practice law from the bench. They take all my hearings off calendar. They never have let me have every paper, whether it's a TRO, temporary restraining order, my ADR, which is the alternative dispute resolution, that every single litigant is supposed to go through before anything could be dismissed. And then my ADA request. And so I have the United States Marshals that have assaulted and battered me. I've written different things to the Department of Justice. And one occasion, I had a notary from Tarzana. And I have a paper here that the notary gave me. And the United States Marshal Service came down to the notary.
This one?
This one right here.
Are we going to flash this up on the screen?